This essay explores the shift from modernist to postmodernist cinema, focusing on changes in film style, storytelling, and themes like feminism and post-colonialism, highlighting how these reflect broader cultural changes. Classic Hollywood films, epitomizing modernism, employed clay editing and straightforward storytelling, making them easy to follow. In contrast, postmodern films break these rules with fragmented storytelling, complex narratives, and constant references to other works. This shift in style coincides with evolving views on gender and race, explored through feminist and post-colonial lenses. Quentin Tarantino's films exemplify postmodernism with their witty dialogues and unconventional storytelling.
And what do they call it?
They call it Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese.
That's right.
What do they call a Big Mac?
Big Mac's a Big Mac, but they call it Le Big Mac.
Le Big Mac.
Pulp Fiction blends casual conversations about pop culture with deep philosophical ideas, creating tension and unpredictability. His films challenge traditional gender and power dynamics by portraying female characters with agency and complexity. For instance, Kill Bill, Volume 1 centers on the bride, a female character who defies gender norms by taking control of her narrative in a violent, male-dominated world. David Bordwell, in narration in the fiction film, argues that classic Hollywood films follow clay, linear storytelling, making them accessible to audiences. Casablanca exemplifies this, with straightforward editing and narrative flow. In contrast, postmodern films, like Pulp Fiction, often feature non-linear plots and complex structures, forcing audiences to actively piece together the story. Modernist films, like Citizen Kane, also challenge traditional cinema by introducing new techniques, such as deep focus cinematography. Yet, they still follow the cause and effect logic of modernism, with clear moral lessons and predictable characters. In contrast, postmodern films like Triangle leave audiences disoriented, as fragmented narratives obscure clear conclusions, forcing viewers to question the nature of time and identity. Classic Hollywood cinema often portrayed women as passive, emotional characters needing male guidance. In Some Like It Hot, female characters like Sugar are presented as objects of desire, reinforcing patriarchal gender roles. Similarly, colonial ideologies were reflected in films like The Searchers, where Native Americans are portrayed as savage villains, reinforcing colonial narratives. Feminist theorist Lisbeth Van Zoonen critiques how the male gaze in Hollywood objectifies women, reducing them to passive roles defined by male desire. In Some Like It Hot, even though the male characters cross-dress, they still control the plot, showcasing how male power persists even in gender-bending scenarios. Tarantino's Jackie Brown disrupts this by presenting a middle-aged female protagonist who manipulates the male characters around her, offering this portrayal of women in film. Fredric Jameson, in Postmodernism, or the Cultural Logic of Late Capitalism, argues that postmodernism embraces pastiche and irony. Pulp Fiction exemplifies this, with its fragmented narrative and references to other films and genres. These films challenge traditional norms, providing new perspectives on race, gender, and identity. British realism films often show real-life struggles, focusing on working-class people and their tough environments. These films use natural dialogue, honest stories, and explore social issues. Ill Manners, directed by Ben Drew, follows these traditions of British realism. The film shows the hard lives of people in London's poor areas, dealing with poverty, crime, and problems in society. The characters in Ill Manners are not shown as perfect. They make tough choices because of their difficult lives. The way they talk is real and matches their backgrounds. The story follows different characters whose lives are all connected by similar struggles. The use of handheld cameras and real city locations gives the film a rough, documentary-style look, making it feel very real and true to life. The shift to postmodern cinema mirrors societal changes, with globalization and technological advances shaping new ways to tell stories. Postmodern films, like The Matrix, address complex issues like reality and identity, offering more diverse portrayals of gender and race. This transition has opened up space for feminist and post-colonial narratives, offering alternative visions of identity and power.